monsters.
We meet again, Witcher.
Your Imperial Majesty.
She's returned, Geralt. After all these years.
Are you sure it's her?
Yes. And she's in danger. Witnesses claim the Wild Hunt follows her. You must find her.
And when I do, what then?
I shall give her what she deserves.
The Witcher 3 is an open world RPG where you play as Geralt the Witcher. It's the third game in the franchise, and as a Witcher your job is to take on contracts, to fight monsters and to deal with the situation in order to create a safe and habitable environment for people in villages, towns and cities all across this amazing world of The Witcher. Point one, something I love about The Witcher 3 so much. It's something which I loved about Dragon Age when I played it. And again, it's just the world you are able to explore. It sounds like a cliche now. I think I must mention this quite often, but just the vast expanse you are able to explore, starting in this little area of White Orchard, which feels fairly expansive in and of itself when you get started there. But then you get opened up to Velen and to Novigrad and to Skellige and to all these other places. The game just opens up massively after you finish in that first area, just once you progress the story a little bit, and it's just this massive zone you are able to explore. And just the fact that the story weaves you in and out of all these areas, you get to enjoy all these side quests which just help fill out the world. There's normally side quests can feel a little bit just there just to prolong the game, to pad it out a bit. I remember playing Final Fantasy 15, which I really enjoyed. The first Final Fantasy I've played all the way through, but the side quests in that felt a bit just in there in order so that you'd spend more time on the game. And I platinumed that game. I caught all those frogs and did everything you had to do. But The Witcher pays such attention to detail with each one of these things, and they just help to make this world feel so alive, so lived in, especially the setting of there being this big war going on. So great world, great side quests, really, really just this awesome place to live in. A negative point about The Witcher 3, something which I think every single open world RPG can sometimes struggle with, is just the pacing of things. And it's because it gives you so much choice in what you want to do that you're going to do things in a different order than maybe it intends, because you've got the main story, you've got all these side quests to do, and then you've got Gwent, which is this crazy card game that they've invented just for The Witcher. It's now its own standalone game. The way I played it, just because of the nature of it, I had this big gap between like the second last quest and the last quest, just where I was trying to get all these finish all these side quests, get all these Gwent cards, because I felt I was coming towards the end of the game. And although the finale was great, although it was really good, finished off the story, there's different endings. I got a really cool ending which really fit into how I played the game. There was that disconnect which happened between that penultimate story mission and that last story mission, just because of the nature of open world games and because of how big they are, and there's so much choice. You always risk that, and so I guess that's partially on me, but this I just played is just about my experience with this game, and I've got to be honest, and you can tell that I'm maybe nitpicking slightly here, because Witcher was a good game. It was a good game. And going on from that, point number 3, something I love, when you look at something like The Lord of the Rings, it feels like in the books and in the movies and in everything that the big players are there. Aragorn, big player. Gandalf, big player. Saruman, big player. Sauron, the biggest bad guy you could wish for, other than Melkor, obviously, because Melkor was the original evil involved in that whole fall from grace, and then Sauron was like his apprentice, but you don't need to know that anyway. Big players, Frodo and Sam, just these little guys from the Shire, but because of their actions and their ability to power through, become big players. Everyone in the story is the biggest, the most influential people from all over the world are in this journey, and it feels like everything is weight, because there is no bigger evil than Sauron, and there's no better good guys than Aragorn and Gandalf and even Legolas and Gimli to a certain extent. They're really important within their different races, really influential people from good stock. Their parents are important. Galadriel's there, really good. And the same in The Witcher 3. When you get to that moment where you need to gather up all the different people you've been dealing with, you need to speak to Triss and to Yennefer, and to that mage guy on Skellige, the rebel guy, and he gets Vess on your side. I had Letho in my game, who was a big deal in Witcher 2. All these people come, you've got Vesemir and the other Witchers as well, Lambert and the other guy, I can't remember his name, all coming to your house, to Kaer Morhen, to take on the Wild Hunt, this big evil, and you just have this big massive battle. You need to fend them off, you need to set traps, you need to do powerful shields to prevent everything. It just feels like all the most important people in this world are in the story. You come across them, you meet with them, and because of that, it has such weight when it reaches its conclusion. Throughout these relationships that you've formed, you have side quests with them all, and you have choices. Some of these people might not be there if you had different conversations and played a different way. Just having all the important people in it for these final story moments, these final story beats, just brings such a weight to it, and it's just awesome. Just the big people in this world, they're all there, they're all involved in this story, and it just brings this great weight and importance to the actions you're doing. And so saying that, coming around to a score, I kept thinking, comparing this to Dragon Age, which I loved doing my dissertation. I kept thinking, I remember thinking, playing Dragon Quest, I could be playing The Witcher 3, but instead I'm going to play this, having a really good time with it. But seeing now, it feels like I can see the gulf in class between something like Dragon Age Inquisition and The Witcher 3, just based on the story, and just everything is just, it just one-ups it, is that a word? One-ups it. In every single category. Gwent is just this big awesome thing that they just had in there. It would be an amazing game without Gwent. Witcher 3 is getting a 9.7. 9.7 for Witcher 3. Amazing game. I have talked way over my 5 minutes. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully I'll have more I just played, I just watched, and I just listened to coming out in the next wee while, or at least sometime in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and for watching any videos on this channel. I will see you next time. Take care.